Hey everyone, Brian here from Vintage Classic Specialist. Happy Monday, everyone. It is time for another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So, big day here for the bright yellow 74 Beetle. Not only did we start it and took it for a little initial test drive. Those of you that follow the channel have been following for a while know the first test drive we usually do is a little parking lot run, go down the front of our building, cross or down the side of our building, across the front of our building into the adjacent parking lot, make a big loop around there, and then repeat. The whole thing's probably like, I don't know, quarter mile or so. It's just a good way to, kind of test the car in an environment where there's no traffic and there's enough room where we can get into like third gear, not really fast, but at least kind of like putting along in third gear with barely any throttle just to check the gears, maybe even fourth. I don't think I got in fourth today when I took this thing out. But yeah, anyway, it's that first test. Make sure that the brakes work and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, huge day for this guy. And guys, let me tell you, this car, I don't know if they felt this good new. This car feels so good. Just everything about it is just tight and new or better than new feeling. Really a pleasure to drive. Motor sounds incredible, super smooth. Just really a great little combo here. So that is that. I will have some video driving it. In fact, probably tomorrow I'll go ahead and take it on a road test here. I'm feeling very confident about this car, and so that is that's kind of the next step. We just got to start putting some miles on this thing. We do have a little something with the steering we need to sort out. It may just be a matter of tightening one of these steering couplers, or not the coupler, but the flange that the coupler mounts to a little bit more. For some reason on some steering box couplers or the flanges, you have to just go like ape tightening those, or else at the extremes when you're like turning all the way like lock to lock at the very end, it'll actually like slip a little bit. And usually if you tighten it way harder than you would ever think you had to tighten it before, that'll go away. I guess maybe over time the teeth in there that are supposed to kind of lock everything together just maybe get like a little bit worn or something. So it just takes more elbow grease than you would think to kind of lock all that together. But either way, we will take care of that. But other than that, it seems to be working great. I did put 5 gallons of gas in it today. We had to fiddle with the fuel gauge a little bit to get it working, and pretty much still got to put on the horn button and stuff once we're done fiddling with the steering. But yeah, put in 5 gallons, which is pretty much exactly half a tank. And the gauge goes up to pretty much exactly half a tank. So super happy about that. I did spend a little bit of time playing around with the radio. This is, of course, a retro sound radio disguised very nicely as a, 1974 appropriate radio. But yeah, it works good. And the owners did want a little bit of more tunes than we put in a lot of cars. So we went ahead and built a little custom shelf back there and put a pair of 6x9s that also came from Retro Sound. So yeah, they've got some tunes, and then we've got the speaker and the stock location back there. So that's the little, I don't know, like 5-inch driver with a couple tweeters that are again stereo, because they're that far apart, so you don't really get any true stereo effect. But yeah, so that's in the front. Nothing in the kick panels up here speaker wise. For a restoration like this, it's a bit ugly. So sound in the front and then sound in the back there, and sounds really good. So yeah, kind of spent a little bit of time dialing that in. And yeah, guys, that's it. I think we've had this car for maybe 11 months now. I don't even know if it's been 11 months. And the car is, oh, hold on. You got to listen to this. I love how the doors on this car sound. Boom. Yeah, we've had this car for like 11 months, plus or minus, and basically done. Just some more miles, and I'm sure there'll be a little minor debugging on it, no pun intended, but yeah, there you guys go. The lovely 1974 original owner Love Bug in Ravana Green with all the factory blacked out trim and all that stuff. So needless to say, I will do a very thorough walk around of this car before it leaves. And yeah, this thing may be leaving in a few weeks. I don't know. We'll see, guys. Depends on how all the test driving and stuff goes, but there's really shouldn't be much of anything else left to do on this car. So that was a big deal. That happened today. So Mr. Rafa today worked on the orange 70 Ghia, and pretty much he just spent some time going through a lot of metal parts for it and sandblasting them and otherwise prepping them for zinc plating, basically. So there's a bag of stuff here that is going to get gold because it was gold originally, and then a bunch of stuff here that I think all this stuff is clear zinc horn and ashtray and other mechanism parts and stuff like that. So yeah, this will probably be going to zinc plating tomorrow, along with, I think I've got a few parts that I need to zinc plate for the 67 Beetle, maybe, I don't know. So we'll try and gather up a bunch of stuff, take it over there. I think there might also be maybe some more powder coating for the 74 Beetle. And then I need to order some shocks for it. And I need to order a steering damper for it. And other than that, guys, this one is coming along. It's actually kind of catching up to its slightly older brother here. So yeah, we got to get back on this one. Its motor, which is right here, is nearly done. And yeah, I need to place a big order with Ghia Parts and Restoration, which are now called Airhead Parts. A lot of specialty stuff that they have for Ghias that you can't get from, Wolfsburg West or some other places, including the wood grain dash. So that's all got to go in before we do too much assembly here on the dash. So probably tomorrow I'll spend some time and place a relatively major order here for this guy to so that we can continue assembly here on this one. And yeah, upholstery's all done for this one. Motor's done-ish. Transmission's in, suspension's done, brakes I think are done, minus maybe bleeding. So yeah, there's actually been quite a bit done on this car. A lot of the wiring's done, but not all of it. But yeah, we need to get back to this one here, and that will be happening very soon. So that was pretty much Rafa's day on the orange 70 over there, getting stuff ready for various plating and coating and so on. I started the day on this one, which is, of course, the 64 Beetle, again, restored elsewhere. Always had problems with its motor since day one, and so the owner finally got tired of the motor and had us pull it out. And in its place is now going a 1699cc motor, turnkey motor built by Brothers Machine Shop. And we're going to convert the car, as you can see there, by the alternator. Car is going to be 12 volts, 1699cc dual port. Basically, it's a 1600 with a little bit more bigger stroke on it. So motor's been dyno tuned, run, should be like plug and play. Today, our transmission guy stopped by and picked up the transmission for this car. So that is going to start its process. It's basically getting opened up for 12 volt flywheel, and it's going to get a Freeway Flyer 4th gear. Other than that, should be a new transmission, shouldn't need anything else. We'll see how true that holds when he opens it up. But yeah, so today pretty much just pulled all the bulbs out of the car in preparation for converting the car to 12 volts. And pulled out the wiper assembly here. That's out. And if you're not aware of this, if you are taking an earlier 6 volt car and converting it to 12 volts, you don't have to put an ugly volta drop on the wiper motor. Wolfsburg West actually makes an armature for the motor, which is wound to be a 12 volt armature, and it like drops right in the 6 volts assembly, the 6 volt motor, and basically that converts it to 12 volts. So very seamless way of converting without having, resistors or volta drops or anything. And so yeah, bulbs, the armature for the wipers, and horn. I almost forgot about a horn. Need to order a 12-volt horn. And yeah, that's about it. So our transmission guy thought he could turn the transmission around in about a week. So pretty much as soon as that comes in, this thing's going to go back together and probably have it back to him in a couple weeks or so. If we get the transmission in a week, maybe 3 weeks or so. He said he wants us to spend a lot of time driving the car. He's done messing around with it, so he wants us to ensure that when he gets it back, it's super reliable, starts every time, runs good, all the good stuff that you would want your classic car to do. So we'll probably, even once it's done, maybe keep it for an extra week or so and just, drive it daily or so, and maybe try and put a few freeway miles on it, stuff like that. Make sure it's going to meet his needs as far as being, reliable and fun to drive and all that good stuff. So that was a chunk of my morning. The other thing that I did mainly was on this one, the master cylinder came in today from our friends over at SoCal Imports. And so this is a correct dual circuit master cylinder made for disc brakes on the front. And I believe with this particular one, you can run either discs or drums on the back. So went ahead and put that in and made the front hard lines for it and connected those, and then installed the reservoir itself. And so the brakes up here are done, of course, connected to the rear hard line. And then in the back, went ahead and installed the drum. So Jacob had previously swapped out the wheel cylinders back here because one of them on one side was leaking. So went ahead and put the drums on, torqued down the axle nuts, got a cotter pin in them, adjusted the brakes, and double checked all the lines and hoses that are tight. So probably tomorrow we will go ahead and bleed the brakes on this car. And then at that point, assuming that all goes well, it's probably time to go ahead and put the gas tank back in and take this little puppy for a spin. I have driven the car a couple times just in the parking lot because the brakes felt kind of sketchy, very spongy and going almost to the floor. Should have amazing brakes now, so I'm hoping to get this car out more on the open road and see how that little engine's running, and then at that point we'll kind of have a chat with the owner and see what they want to do next with it. So but again, the main goal is to get it running well, which it wasn't doing before, and get it stopping well, which it wasn't doing before, and then we'll kind of take it from there. So I guess that was my day, guys. So thank you all for watching. My upholstery guy and my paint and body guy were both mysteriously out today, which I'm not super happy about, but who knows? We'll find out tomorrow what was going on with those guys. And I will try and film in the morning before it leaves the Brazilian bus that we did pop top canvas on and a headliner. And then we actually have a new upholstery job that's in, and believe it or not, it's a 91 Vanagon that we're doing a headliner, door panels, and carpet on. So I'll try and show that too at some point. So for now, that is all, everyone. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.